Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome back to the show the GOAT of all the guests to the TCF podcast and morning shows. He's the director of morale for the Chicago Cubs. You've seen him frequently on the Compound podcast with Zach Short, Dylan Meckes, and his best friend, Ian Happ. You can find him on IG and Twitter at Dom_Frederic. He also has his own coffee out now through Connect Roasters called Morale Blend. I don't even know why we do these intros anymore for him. He's basically the biggest part of this show, or as big of a part as anybody else. You know him, you love him. He's our Dom, ladies and gentlemen. Dom Frederic. Dom, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. It's the 15th time I've been on, and I've never been more excited to be back. It's been a while. I feel like I haven't been on in like over 6 months or something like that. So it's good to be back, and thanks everyone for having me again.
I can tell you exactly when it was because it was right before the beginning of the season when I was about to jump off a cliff. But that's okay.
I remember. I thought the last time we did it, I was about to go to the driving range because I told you all I was at the driving range.
Yes,
something like that. I think
I think
maybe it was right before spring training.
Okay, I got you.
You might be right. Somewhere around then. So maybe
was that
3 months ago, 4 months ago?
Maybe.
Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, the Darvish trade. Yeah, for sure. Yep. So something like that. Yeah.
Much different situation now. We'll just put it that way.
Much different situation. There's a lot of things that have happened. I know the last 3 games have been tough. One of those, I mean, thankfully we didn't have DeGrom for 8 innings tonight, but it's been a tough little stretch over the last 3 games, but we can't forget what happened over the weekend. I know, Zach, you and Boomy were at the game on Sunday. I hope you all had fun. And
had a lot of fun.
A lot of big things were happening.
I think the problem is maybe they forgot to bring their morale blend to New York. I think that I've got it. It's amazing to have it every morning. Connect Roasters. I do like it. I do like it a lot. I actually, I don't know if it's weird, but I turned mine into like iced coffee. I kind of put some ice on it. It's with a little creamer on it. Oof.
Good.
It gets me going every day, and like you said, there's something in the blend.
There's something in it. Yeah. Connect has done a great job. Their CEO Caleb, he's great at what he does, and no wonder Ian got involved with them. And yeah, I'm just super happy everyone's enjoyed it, and hopefully we can keep it going. And like I said before, there's something in that blend, and eventually I'm going to go to prison for it because even though the last 3 games we've lost, ever since that goddamn coffee has come out, this team has turned it around. And eventually I'm going to be the next Spider Tack or whatever it is, whatever the stuff. It's going to be the morale blend. So.
Bob Manford is going to come find you, man.
Exactly. I'm going to go to prison. So whatever. We don't have too many episodes left, guys. So we got to make them count.
Got to get them in while we can. But hey, it's funny you say that because that timing was perfect. The morale blend drops, but what has been different about this team since mid to late May that's kind of put them in the driver's seat or at least given them a shot here in the NL Central? What's been the difference in the last month-ish compared to the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing really going back to May was, and I know I've talked about it a bunch, but Matt Duffy and Nico Horner diversifying the lineup, giving this team an opportunity to win in many different ways, move guys over, play small ball, play that a whole different game that the Cubs had not been accustomed to playing in a long time. And I think over the last, really June, once Nico got hurt, once Matt Duffy got hurt, we kind of saw like the Patrick Wisdom week where he carried the team. Now we're moving into, the second week of June, and we're starting to see why the Cubs are missing out and not being as productive as they were earlier on when we did have Nico and Matt Duffy in the lineup on a consistent basis. Comes down to that. I mean, the starting pitching has been a little bit better. The bullpen is absolutely disgusting. I'm fired up about it. I'm fired up about Tommy Hotovy. I'm fired up about the pitching infrastructure that they've created, finding a way to, take guys off the scrap heap and turn them into something. It's been awesome to see. So I don't want to make it all about Nico and Matt Duffy. It's not like they're all-stars. It's not like they're, world-class caliber players, but it's really important to diversify the lineup. And we're seeing right now, like when you have Alcantara, I know he's been good, but he strikes out a lot. Patrick Wisdom the same. And then you get a lot of swing and miss, and it's hard to win that way. And then we go into the same things that we've seen with the Cubs over the last 3 or 4 years. So we need to get those guys healthy, and hopefully we can get back into the consistency that we saw during May.
You touched on him briefly a little bit with Wisdom. I gotta ask though, and I know you're obviously close with Hap and everything. What was the locker room feel during that week with him? And when Wisdom just went nuts, and it was kind of one of those, ride the wave and just let it take you as far as it'll take you. But what was the pulse of the clubhouse with that? Do you have any kind of
literally they were like, he's the best player of all time that week. Like the best player ever, honestly. And you know
Tom,
what?
I worded my question differently, but when I typed it out, I was going to ask you, is he the best player in the history of the sport?
Yeah,
that's literally what my notes
that's what
are.
I was hearing. That's what I was hearing. Like, he's the best player of all time. You know what? Good for him. What's he, like, 29? Is he 30? Something like that. He's bounced around, in the minor leagues for a long time. Has a really good week. I don't know what's going to happen to him. I love having him on the team. It's great that he can produce, get spot starts here and there. We'll see when Nico and Duffy come back. But, yeah, he played a huge role. I know for the players themselves, they were just like, yeah, it's absolutely incredible what he's doing right now. 9 home runs, right? I think he had 8 home runs in like a week.
8 in his first 10 games, I think, something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And, he won us a lot of games. And I think that's kind of the story of this year, is that this roster has been tested in so many ways. I know, like, in any good year, you're like, wow, this team has so many good players. They're all really important. But I feel like this year, specifically with the Cubs, it's like you can point to so many role players, whether it be a Matt Duffy or Nico Horner, Patrick Wisdom, even Alcantara. And then you look at the bullpen, Tommy Nance, Tepera. Like, there are so many guys that are stepping up in huge ways that maybe we didn't see them stepping up at the beginning of the year. And because of that, it's allowed the team to stay in first place. And even though we've lost 3 games in a row, it's like we're still in that spot. And with guys coming back, it's definitely something to look forward to moving into the end of June and into July.
We've been kind of talking about a lot of injuries with the Cubs. Is there like any concern about the KB injury? I know the X-rays were negative, but a hand is not a great spot to get hit.
Yeah, no, I agree, and especially with his injury history. He had the wrist or finger issue last year. He's had the shoulder. For sure. I hope it doesn't bother him. He's had an absolutely great season. I haven't heard anything other than what you said, that the X-rays were negative. It's just a contusion. So hopefully that's all it is, and he can get back into the swing of things, acting as an MVP, acting as a guy who can play 5 positions, acting as a guy who's probably going to earn himself a $300+ million contract. Good for him in doing so. So, yeah, I hope he gets back soon, and I hope the Cubs make a run at him. I know you all probably want to talk about that, but I hope the Cubs make a run at him because I think he's the most important player in the organization.
Hard to argue.
What is it? Is it 10 players the Cubs have on the IL right now? Somewhere around there.
Good question. They have Bodie, Nico, Duffy, Moralzale, and then Williams. So that's 5 right there. So then you're talking about like Rowan Wick. Yeah, probably up there, Zach, probably.
Because I think it was Memorial Day was when I was supposed to go see Trevor Williams pitch, and he had his appendix taken out.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. The starting pitching's the same way. We need to be able to supplement this roster with starting pitching. I know someone tweeted at me tonight. They were like, you should tweet about how the Cubs or how Jed hasn't given this team starting pitching. Like, look at who the catcher and the starting pitcher are. Like, I understand it. The Cubs are in a tough spot. If the Cubs were injured, regardless of who they had, they'd still be putting out this type of, battery to start the game. But, yeah, the Cubs have to do a better job and hopefully supplement this roster via trades, because the Cubs have a real chance to do damage. And if they get the right starting pitchers in there, not to single anyone out, I really think the Cubs can make a decent run at it, especially with the bullpen that they have.
Mad Max
for sure. Go home. Especially now. Why are we trying to cut corners? Why are we trying to, live around the margins? Like, just go for it, right?
My thing is, if you're gonna let everybody walk, just might as well go all in.
Exactly.
Fuck it, just go all in.
If you're gonna lowball Anthony Rizzo at the end of the year, if you're gonna go into a year with 0 extensions, why are you holding back and trying to get a, middle of the road guy who can eat? We have guys who can eat innings. That is basically our whole rotation is guys that can eat innings. We don't need any more of that. We need an actual difference maker.
Need a shutdown. We need you, Darvish.
Exactly. Totally right. Or else, it's going to be tough sledding because you don't want to burn out the bullpen, even though you can really utilize them in the playoffs. But that's way down the road, and the Cubs still have work to do because guess what? The Brewers have a nasty rotation. Corbin Burns, Woodruff.
Woodruff's
Peralta.
a beast.
Yeah, I mean, they're really good, and the Cubs have never really hit them well, Freddie Peralta in particular. So we still have our work cut out for us, but if the Cubs make the right moves, they can definitely be at the top of the division for sure.
Yeah, because with the Cubs, I don't know. I'm just a little nervous about because you're in a spot where the bullpen. You're paying next to nothing other than Craig Kimbrell. You're paying next to nothing for a very productive bullpen. Yeah, you got to go after a starter with that kind of space you have.
They've unloaded so much money at the beginning of this year as well. There's so much money coming off the books.
Yeah, because that was supposed to be the whole reason Darvish got traded, I guess, was to get the money in. And now you're looking for somebody that's exactly like him.
Zach, I hear you. I get tweeted at all the time regarding the same topic. Like, it's really the reality that maybe I'm learning more about in terms of what this organization is becoming, and I hope this isn't the narrative that's happening. But the Ricketts family, they got to cough it up. I mean, they have it's not becoming a good look. When you are the most valuable franchise or one of the most valuable franchises in Major League Baseball and in all of professional sports, you guys were there on Sunday. It was packed. It was electric. Beer was flowing.
$1,000 cup snake.
I mean, yeah, it was. It was like it was rowdy, and it was something that we haven't seen over the last year and a half. And they made so much money that weekend. I know there's balance sheets. I know they have overhead costs. I get it, but guys, like, you are the Chicago Cubs. You guys are a cash cow. Like, come on. We can't be in the situation where every time something comes up about extensions or adding on, it's all about, well, money this, money that. No, it should be like, we're the goddamn Chicago Cubs. We're going to get it done. This is what our fan base deserves, and we're going to go out and put the best product on the field on a consistent basis. I know there's ebbs and flows of a team. I know there's the troughs and peaks of a franchise and an organization in a window, a competitive window. But too often do we hear, well, money this, well, money that, can't do this, can't. It's just not something you want to hear. And I'm coming to the reality that I don't want to come to, that the Ricketts family maybe are in way too deep with all this stuff. And I know a lot of people feel the same way, but going back to the original question, if they don't go after a big name starter, if they don't go after an impact reliever, then it kind of shows, where this whole team is at, and it will be disappointing for sure.
Yeah, because it's one thing after another. Who are you going to extend? Yep. What are we going to do? Who's going to get the extension? And it's just like, well, somebody has to get one before anything, because you always go, who's going to get it? Well, somebody has to get one before that happens.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you. And I even said it yesterday. We did our Morale Clubhouse yesterday, and I said in the clubhouse, and I think that maybe a few of you would disagree, but the way it's looking now, if I'm looking at this Cubs team, I don't know. I mean, there's no way they re-sign all three. There's no way. There's no way Kris Bryant is taking a qualifying offer. He's getting his contract. If I'm the Cubs, I'm making a run at Kris Bryant, and that's who it is. And if it's one guy, if it's Kris, and I have to pay $300 million for Kris, I'm paying $300 million for Kris because he's the most versatile. He's the best player. He has the best approach. He's the most consistent on a long-term basis, and he's, an MVP. He's a consistent all-star when he's healthy, and to that
versatility
point, if I'm gonna
too.
make a run at one guy, it's him, because I just don't see them doing it over or doing it, 2 extensions or 3 for sure.
So Dom, his ability to play positions everywhere too is just, it makes him so valuable.
Valuable, absolutely.
That's kind of, the Cubs have had a problem with that. It's like now we've kind of showed all the teams that may want him, oh, he can play all these positions.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Here you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, if I was a team right now and I wasn't, if I was another team, not the Chicago Cubs, I'd be calling Jed Hoyer up immediately right now, because the fact that he can hit from both sides of the plate, he crushes lefties, he can play center field, he can play left. I mean, he's one of a kind. He's a unicorn right now in baseball, and not enough people are talking about that.
They are not. But what they are talking about is the crackdown on usage of illegal substances for pitchers. What are your thoughts on it? And like with the Tyler Glasnow stuff coming out, how he said it was maybe the cause of his injury because he had to change so much stuff up. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it reminds me so much of the steroid era. It's just, kind of letting it go by, letting this thing accumulate to where, well, now, I mean, even though Jacob deGrom was ridiculous tonight and the Cubs still struck out a bunch, like, it really has played a huge role into how the game has changed. It's all about spin. It's all about attacking the top of the zone. It's all about tunneling, and which makes sense. But when you can break off a nasty curveball with 300 or 3,000 RPMs, it's like it makes it unfair, and it's why the game has changed. So I think it's good that they're cracking down. I don't know if it's the right thing to do it in the middle of the season, because I do think there's a valid argument that Glasnow made that now he has to totally change how he's gripping a pitch, and because of that, you can, you're affecting your arm, and these guys throw hard enough to begin with, and literally it takes one throw that's not consistent with what you normally do, or just the build up over time, this compound effect to where guys get hurt, and then you have one of your best players gone. Like Jacob deGrom, the fact that he's, kind of in and out of being hurt or healthy is something you don't want to see as a baseball fan. And while it is technically cheating, and while I do want it out of the game because I think it's, promoting strikeouts, I think it's a really tough call to make during the season because the pitchers have to change way too much.
Yeah, it's just a weird time to do something like that. Like, you can't.
Baseball.
Yeah, it's just like you're having a problem with it, but then now all of a sudden you're just like in the middle of the season, like, oh, you can't use it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you've known that this is a problem.
My whole thing with it too is, for a long time there was a lot of complaints about the ball. The ball was changing so much, and at one point I heard a major league player in an interview say it felt like the ball was glass. Well, what is a pitcher supposed to do with a ball that's that slick at that point? You know what I mean? Like, to counter something. I mean, So if Major League Baseball is going to manipulate the ball, the pitcher's still got to do something,
Yeah, I hear you. I totally agree. But I would also say this, like, well, I agree, but I would also say that, like, there are a lot of other pitchers, and I'm not trying to compare, like, college pitchers to Major League pitchers. It's not what I'm trying to do, but there are a lot of pitchers out there that aren't using sticky stuff and can still get by, right? They can still throw. It's just that they've become so accustomed to using it that they now, like, they need to pitch with it. It becomes like a steroid. It becomes like a drug, right? Because that's just what you're used to doing. And it's hard to get off of it. So it's going to be an adjustment period for pitchers, but I do think, like, the pitchers will be fine over time. I just think, like, right now, kind of what you were saying, Zach and Matt, it's a tough move to do it during the middle of the season.
Bit of a safety concern too, with like young pitchers coming in throwing 102 and not knowing where the ball's going either at that point.
Yeah, totally. And then I was actually thinking about that tonight with Stock on the mound. I mean, he's throwing 100. Didn't he hit the first couple guys, right? I was like, didn't he? 2 guys? One.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
he can bring it too.
Yeah, he can bring it for sure, and he hit Dom Smith right in the knee. So
that cannot feel good at all.
No, not at all. So I was like, here we go. But we'll see what happens. But I do think there are pitchers out there, before Spider Tack and all this other stuff that were pitching and doing just fine. They just probably won't be as nasty as we've seen on Pitching Ninja and things like that on Twitter over the years.
So is there something that they kind of like mix with the Spider Tack? Because I've seen the videos of everyone and it's like super, super sticky. It's like there has to be something that like mixes with it to like help you grip it better.
I think there's a lot of stuff. What I've heard the most from people that still play or coaches, bowler's grip is really popular because it is see-through and it smelled like Carmex. So people just thought it was like lip gloss. I know that was, and you just take that straight out of the bottle. There's just multiple things like that. Yeah, you're mixing some stuff, but then there's other stuff, whether it be the bowler's grip or, the sunscreen and rosin, they're just kind of spraying it on and putting it together. Like, there's a whole assortment of things, and I think again, it's going to be an adjustment period for a lot of people. But you know what? It's not going to go away. Like, there's going to be people that are still going to use it, and they're still going to find a way to get by. And it's the always changing factor and thing of baseball being this like cheating sport because people are always trying to get an advantage.
Well, it reminds me of the movie Major League. The pitcher,
it's Ernie Harris, man.
And he had all that kind of stuff that he would like.
Crisco, Bardo.
Used to.
Yeah.
I'm like, it just kind of like that scene is pretty much what's going on.
Yep. Got to find a way to get by.
Well, and like you said, Dal, I mean, as long as baseball's been around, trying to doctor a baseball has been around by a pitcher. So it's not like this is something new. This has been around for 150 years. So
yeah,
got to make adjustments.
It's going to keep going. So we'll see.
Well, like you said, this is the secret substance now. The steroids were a secret substance. We know how the morale blend is done for the Cubbies in May and June so far. With your work with Connect Roasters in the morale blend, we thought coffee time in the fall. You got competitors with the pumpkin spice lattes. There's got to be an October blend. There's got to be some kind of October blend. Get the juices flowing here come the playoff push here. Start that thing in September when Starbucks brings the pumpkin out. It's the perfect counter, Dom. I'm telling you, this is the marketing play here. We got to get out in front of it, though.
I hear you. I was actually meeting with Connect's CEO last week, and we're talking about some stuff. Well, I mean, you know what? I think maybe Zach, I think I mentioned it to you before it all went live. I really didn't know how it would go over because, it is something that was totally different than I'd ever done before. I knew like people would find it interesting, but I just didn't know like how it would go. And I've just been very thankful for everyone who has supported and have actually enjoyed the coffee. And again, it goes to each bag helps support First Tee Greater Chicago, which I was just at last Thursday, checking out their new facility, which is amazing. We were just talking about golf for 30 minutes before we hopped on the podcast, something I'm passionate about, helping underprivileged kids in the city, amongst all different backgrounds throughout Chicago. So I'm super excited about it. But yeah, I think it's a great idea. Pumpkin spice, and hopefully we can, hopefully we're in the playoffs during that time and we can fire it up and get everyone locked in. I'm just fired up. Like I get texts after the games from some of the guys on the team, and they're just like, they love the coffee and they're jacked up. And one of the players, and I swear I'm not going to say who, one of the players was just like, I literally do not care who we play. I don't care who we play. It's Cubs in 4, and I literally do not. That is a direct quote. He was like, I do not care who we play. And it was, I'm just super appreciative of it. And, I think the morale blend has something to do with it. But without the support of, all the great people like you guys, it wouldn't happen at all.
Got the coffee I think right here. The shirt.
I love it.
I think
Zach.
the September one needs to. We'll channel back to Major League that Zach mentioned. We'll call the September blend like when the whole effing thing blend or something. Like the playoff push blend.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Playoff.
If they'll let you use the swear words, Connect Roasters may want to keep it clean.
And we were, we were thinking that it would just be like an in-season thing, but I don't know if it will. It might just continue on. It might go into the winter. I don't know.
The winter, you got the spring training blend. A little citrusy. A little,
And I think not to give away too many secrets, but I think there's so many. Like I'm always excited about the artwork we come out with for the different shirts and stuff. And I think there are so many good designs that can come from this. And I'm just super fired up about it. I remember when we came up with the name and Ian was like, we can call it like Morale Coffee Blend. And I was like, the Morale Blend. That's it. We got it.
Yep,
that's it.
Nailed it.
That's it.
Yep.
That's done. And then just kind of went from there. And I'm super thankful for all the support.
And hey, it's working even outside of the Wrigley confines. I saw some tweets about your boy Dylan Meckes kind of getting things going at.
He's looking good in the minors and AAA. I mean, he's looking. I saw something like that. He worked on something in the off season, changed something up, and it's really been showing.
Yeah,
he started drinking coffee. Weird.
Yeah, I know what happened.
The Morale blend.
I'm super happy for him. I can't wait for him to hopefully get to the show soon. Zach Short was in the show a few times over the last.
It's kind of he's kind of in and out of the Detroit Tigers lineup.
Yeah, so I'm super fired up for them. I think I'm going on their podcast coming up soon again. So hopefully we'll have to talk. It was interesting though, not to sidetrack, but after Phil won the PGA, he was like, "Yeah, I'm not a big Phil Mickelson guy." Just not. I was like, how can you not be a big Phil Mickelson guy?
Especially in the moment. Just
say that.
Gotta fake it in the moment.
Read the room.
How can you not be a Phil Mickelson guy? I know I'm sidetracking everyone here, but it's like that threw me off. So next time I talk to him, I'm gonna be like, I don't know what you mean. You're just not a fan. That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, don't mean to sidetrack anyone.
All good. Well, as always, Dom, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you follow Dom on IG and Twitter at Dom_Frederic. Check out the Morale blend. You can't go wrong with anything he's got. I've got my green Wrigleyville jersey on the way here soon. Make sure you check him out. Make sure you're always following for merch drops and coffee links and whatever you need. And if you just need to pick me up on a tough day, at Dom_Frederic. Dom, as always, my man, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm sure, let's make sure it's not another 4 or 5 months before we do this again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been too long. It's been great to talk to you guys, and we got to go play golf soon.
Absolutely. Well, we got to get a little more.
I got to go see the course, Zach. I got to see the golf
home
course. Let's go, dude. I got to see it.
Yes, it's a quick 2-minute drive from my house. So
There you go. There you go. Just take the cart back and forth from your house to the course.
I've thought about it. I've thought about it.
Let's go.
I've thought about it.
I love it.
Well, thanks so much for coming on, Dom. Like we said, at Dom_Frederic. Make sure you give him a follow, and we will make sure we get him back here soon. Thanks, Dom.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.